Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do this lecture. Let me go ahead and sign up on the Apple and all everything right now. Peace to the family.
Peace. How you guys doing?
This is Brandon B. Dixon. You're tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. Hold on for a second while I'm signing up on Apple and yeah, we're getting quite a few listeners on the Apple and the Spotify, man. We got 438 listens last week.
That's actually really good. That's exciting.
You know, so we need to get that up, though, man. We need to get into the thousands. Mm-hmm. You know, so all right. Again, peace to the family. This is Brandon B. Dixon. You're tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. Got my guest host Stephen Contreras here as well.
Yeah. Hey, how are you guys doing?
All right, and we're tuned in today on February 9th with a new episode. We want to talk about, first of all, before we get started, let's introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a mortgage broker, serial entrepreneur, published author. My book, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now. I suggest you get it while it's on sale. Second book will be out here next month. You know, next month or the next month or 6 weeks. So I might start a pre-order campaign as well. So I might start that as well to hurry up and finish it up. Also, if you want to apply for a mortgage, go ahead and go to my website, www.hocmortgage.com. Like I said, it's mortgage season. I've been swamped. That's why we had missed last week. So we're gonna double up. Actually, I got a lecture coming out later on the day. So www.hocmortgage.com to go ahead and fill out an application for a mortgage. If you want me to mentor you, whether it's on the loan side or if you're a realtor looking for a strong partner and the mentor, or you're working a sales profession, you need a sales trainer and a sales coach. www.billionaireloanofficer.com. Go ahead, book me there. Lastly, if you want to give me a call, 832-775-8357. Call me 24/7. I'm available. And at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. And at Billionaire LO on TikTok. So go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth. Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them where you can find you and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Stephen Contreras. I'm a geologist here in Houston, Texas. I do a lot of volunteer work and try to make the place a little bit better. I like to study the arts and the sciences, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just trying to make people better. You know, hopefully everyone can try to listen to us. You can find me at Stephen_Contreras90 on Instagram, and then Stephen Contreras on Facebook. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.
Right. So for those who are not familiar with the Power of Ownership podcast, we talk about ownership not only of properties and businesses and intellectual properties, so on and so forth, but most importantly, we talk about ownership of the mind, body, and soul. You know, we bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen realm. So that's what kind of gives us our own little flavor. A lot of people talk either or. They talk about prosperity, but they don't talk practicality, or they talk practicality, they don't talk, behind the scenes. So it's just we kind of bridge the gap. You can't have one without the other. You can't have, the peanut butter without the jelly and so on and so forth, to make the good, PB&J sandwich, so
exactly.
This is what we talk about. We talk about the whole kit and caboodle, the mental aspect, as well as, the unseen aspect, as well as the practical stuff to actually get you going. And that's what I want to talk about. I got later on coming out today, right after this show, I'm going to do a 3-part lecture series. It's going to be my hour lecture series. It's going to be called Billionaire Mind State. And the first episode, we're going to talk about epigenetics. So we're going to talk about epigenetics in full. I'm going to talk about that. That's the first thing first. Then I'm going to talk about creationism. My game plan for that. And then the last one is going to be about. We're going to talk about. Well, let that be a surprise. Tune in the first two, and I'll tell you what the third one's going to be.
And you said it's coming out today, right?
Yeah, the first part is going to come out today. I'm going to do 3 weeks in a row, do 3 separate lectures to give you all a little bonus because we missed last week, so we got to keep the 52 show. Our goals on 52 shows this year.
Yeah, I apologize. I was going to say I apologize for missing last week. One of my best friends was getting married, so I had to go do that.
Right. No. I should have got it. Like I said, I just got kind of caught up last week, and I should have still came out with the show. I should have did this lecture last week instead of doubling up. So, I still got it cocked on deck. Still ready to go.
Yeah, it sounds exciting.
Right. Hold on a second. Yep. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dig into the show. Since we last was on the air, in fact, right after our last show on the 26th, Stephen Contreras texted me about he's the one that broke the news to me about Kobe Bryant, and at first I thought it was a hoax as well. So I do my research, and then I thought it was a hoax for sure because I didn't see anything on CNN.
Yeah, nothing.
Didn't see anything on SportsCenter, so I was like, this is a hoax. So I kind of just missed it, until like later that day. So I definitely want to say rest in peace to Kobe and Gigi and all of the rest of the 7 people that lost their lives on that flight on the 26th 2 weeks ago. Like I said, it kind of at first you're in denial and everything like that. What did you think when you first heard the news?
I didn't want to believe it. Like I've seen stuff like that before, or there's even some people out there will fake their deaths and stuff like that. And it's just like I'm like, there's no way Kobe Bryant could have died. Like he's perfectly healthy. He has a family. He does all the right things, all the stuff we talked about in this show. He does. He lives it to the fullest extent. And so when something like that, when someone dies tragically and that kind of thing, I couldn't believe it. It's just like there's no way. And then when the reports about his daughters that came out, that's what sold me. I'm just like, oh man, it's real,
Right. So yeah, this having to go through that. I don't know. Like I said, Kobe was one of my favorite players just because of what you just said just now. Like all the stuff that we preach about, he kind of embodied. So he, all the stuff about making yourself better, bringing your goals and stuff into fruition, and he did it. He went from, he took his talent and enhanced it. So that's rare to do. Like most people either rely on their talent and never, or match their talent or maximize their talent. He outdid his talent.
Every day he did.
Yeah, so that's rare. Like most people, we could name millions of people. The Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf and all those mad talented dudes that never lived up to their talent. You got people that's mediocre that kind of, match their talent. Mm-hmm. But this guy here, he exceeded his talent. He was only supposed to go this far, and he went this far with it.
Through the stratosphere.
Right.
He literally was the Mamba,
Right. Literally. So that was amazing about him. And that's what we preach on this podcast is to. And that's what I'm gonna kind of get into as well today with epigenetics. Is like we're not cursed with genetics. You could unlock certain things in your genetic code to outdo yourself or outdo the things that you think you're supposed to do. And that's what kind of Kobe did. Like you dictate the mind, the mind, quote unquote belief, can make or break you. If you believe that I'm doomed to. Have male pattern baldness, and I'm doomed to only do such and such because my family did such and such. Then you, in turn, will do only such and such.
Mm-hmm.
The power is in belief. The power is in the mentality. If you could program your subconscious mind to do other than what you're supposed to do, what society tells you you're supposed to do, then you could do pretty much anything you want to do. And that goes the word, hence the word genius. It's talking about manipulating your genes.
Exactly.
Because everything that all your memory, all your ancestors are in your genome. All of their memories. So you have all this power. You see, the thing about genetics is it's a blueprint. And we think, hey, my blueprint, I'm done with it. No, it's all on how you read that, interpret that blueprint. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are. It's the guide path. It's how
Right.
do we be able to access those genes that are harder to access, and that's what Kobe did. He was able to supersede his gifts with genetics. He merged the two. He was able to move with the DNA, with the genes, and be able to do whatever he wanted to do.
Right. I give the example. For example, for his genes, his dad played ball, correct? Yep. So he has the genetics of an NBA, and his dad was like an average player. That was his genes. So he took that and enhanced it. Now he became the best player that ever played the game. That's what he took it. What hard work, dedication. He also meditated. He also did everything he needed to do. He learned, like say for example, he was the kind of guy that he would, if the guy wouldn't have piloted the helicopter, he probably would get on YouTube and try to learn how to pilot it himself.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of mentality he had. He was going to learn how to do it himself and bring things into fruition. That's creationism 101. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are. It's hard to do, and he was the best, and that's why it's so tragic to see something like that, because he did it all. He did all the right things. He learned. He was able. He didn't know a lot of things about Kobe is he wasn't just success on the basketball court. He was a success in business. He was a success in family. He had his fingers in so many different things that he was, like you said, he was creative, and that's what he did, and that's why, like, we haven't lost someone like Kobe Bryant in a very, very long time too early. Like he died way too early. Like it's been a long time since someone that's his caliber of awareness was taken from us.
Well, the thing is, I think he served his purpose. That's why, like I said, he set out to.
I agree.
He set out to be greater than Jordan.
Yep.
And then once he won that Oscar, that's something Jordan never would do and never could do. So he just in turn.
It's beautiful. It's literally the definition of magic. It's beautiful. It is the divine bliss in itself, in a way.
Right. And then I heard from Tracy McGrady in one of those interviews. He always said he wanted to pass young to be immortalized. To deify himself. You know what I mean? So that's what we all trying to do in this particular realm.
Like Hercules, right? Like Hercules.
Right. The deify. So the good thing about Kobe, the thing I like, he got it out of the way young.
Yep. 41, right?
Yeah, 41. I'm trying to chase it later on. I kind of denied my mission for so long early to try to, the BS in this particular paradigm. And, the whole, once I decided, all right, let me go ahead and transcend. Now I'm a little bit older, still trying to build and fulfill my mission. So, but he got it knocked out early. So that's gifted to get that mentality early. Mm-hmm. So that's where he was. That's where he was gifted. That's when you exit strategy. You ready to go from day one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I admire about him. But let's talk a little bit deeper. What is the Mamba mentality? What is the Mamba? Break down Mamba and all that. what was Kobe Bryant on? Because the thing about it, I tweeted out, or I put on Facebook, on Instagram, and it went over a lot of people's heads, probably except Stephen Contreras' head. I said, millionaires use consultants and billionaires use astrologers.
For sure.
You know, so,
why do you think I made the Hercules reference? You know,
right. So, what does that mean? Like, what does Mamba mean? Of course, Kobe was on some more deeper meaning, metaphysical stuff. If people that don't think the very, very successful are not on some other stuff, you're fooling yourself.
I would agree.
So the stuff that they tell you stay away from is what they're using. So even didn't Tom Brady say that one time? Is about his girlfriend?
Yeah, and it's just like going to Tom Brady, because they're real similar, the two. But Tom Brady, he actually makes fun of himself in a TV show on Netflix. I'm like, on the first episode, he walks into this place. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a place on the new Paul Rudd show, and he comes out. And I'm like, no, you didn't, Tom Brady. You didn't just show everyone what you do. Come on.
Right.
It's pretty funny. I thought it was funny.
Right. So, I mean, most people that's highly successful are in tune with these sciences, and we are given belief, and your belief only going to take you so far. It's only going to, at best, mediocrity at best. So the ancient sciences you might want to get in tune with in order to get to the next level. And this is what we talk about on the Power Ownership podcast.
Yeah, you have to. It's all related. It's like how can you keep on moving forward without learning?
Right. So let me get this straight. So our ancestors did this for millions and millions of years, and then the last 100 years, we found a better way because we got more technology, and it's the technology age. Duh. So we're going to drop all of this stuff. We're going to leave all this stuff behind, or we're going to use some of this stuff. We did this for millions and millions of years before this, so and it's going to be after it.
And listen to the words Brandon used: millions and millions of years. So don't kid yourself about what time they tell you humans have been on this planet. It's literally millions and millions of years.
Right. So we don't know. To say that it's a few thousand that's very naive. Of you. So but yeah, we don't. I think it's a spiral. It doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an ending. So it's that plane that we're on. So it just is what it is, man. We try to date it. That's when you try to date it, you're putting it in a particular paradigm from there that you're trying to figure out something, and you're trying to put logic on something that doesn't have the same logic that you're trying to put on it. If that makes sense.
It does.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of traps, man. A lot of traps you got to stay away from. But back to the Mamba mentality. What is the Mamba mentality? Break down the whole thing. The Mamba, the Black Mamba. Break down the whole thing.
So, in my opinion, it goes back to the Black Mamba. He used that pseudonym because he was the snake, and not like snake as bad, like how the Bible references it. The evil serpent. It's more like he figured out how to raise his consciousness to that next level to be able to do all those things. It's the same thing you see on the medical symbols and in the health industry. It's the staff of Hermes. It's literally the Mamba. The Mamba on this plane and this earth is one of the most deadliest snakes because it's the fastest. It attacks, it grinds, it moves, it does all these things that no other animal on the whole planet can do, and that's the symbol in itself, So the Black Mamba mentality is him being able to function and raising his levels to, like you said, the stratosphere, to that kundalini, to that awakeness of what it is to be a champion. He is the Black Mamba. He he is the space in between the atoms, the void. He is what it is that it takes to be able to see to that next level, and he did it. And that's why it's so sad to see something like that happen, because
this is the thing. Let me stop you right there. See, we are programmed, in this belief system to think that, first of all, the ancient Egyptians knew there was no such thing as death.
Yeah, agreed.
You could die. Die means to split. Whenever you die, you have two of.
Yeah, diatom.
Dichotomy, the diagram. It's two, So that means you're splitting. So your consciousness is splitting from the physical. Your consciousness can never die. How can it die? It's meaning that we understood that for real. So there's no need for sorrow. It should be celebration that, hey, he made it.
I know.
He did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he deified himself. He is that Uraeus that the ancient Egyptians used to wear on their headpiece. And that's the black mamba there, is symbolizing that I am fully awakened. My pineal gland is open.
Yep. All the way.
All the way. And what happens is the hood of that particular snake is almost like the pineal gland. It opens up, and then the front flickers like a snake tongue.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And like you said, the Egyptians have known about it for a long time. Go look at the hieroglyphs, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. They literally show you what it is.
Right. So that's Mamba mentality to me means, I'm a little bit more philosophical about it. It means the potential, maximizing your full potential as a human and transcending your circumstance to immortalize yourself. And you do this through ancient day one technology that's inside of the body.
Mm-hmm.
He used the technology that was inside the body, which is raising the Kundalini energy. Like you said, it's on the medical staff. It's the old one, the ancient symbols.
And they throw it in our faces everywhere. Just got to pay attention to it.
The serpent represents that energy, that surge energy. So hold on, let me plug my laptop. I'll keep talking. I forgot to plug my laptop up.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so it's the winding serpents on the staff of Hermes. It's the same thing. It's like, to be able to access some of those higher frequencies, those higher levels, you have to go through the training. You have to put in the work. You have to put in. A lot of people, when I say training, they think of physical training. It's not just physical training. It's emotional training. It's mental training. It's being able to control yourself in such a way that the energy is able to move up and down at will. Is really what it is.
Yeah. Going up the spine as opposed to down the spine.
Yeah, but I say up and down because it's continuous, right? So depending on our actions, that's what I meant by that. Yeah.
So he was able to tap into the technologies of the body and put his will into fruition. Whatever he said he wanted to do, he done.
Yep.
He knows how to control the mind. The mind and then once you control the mind, you control matter, because matter follows mind.
Yeah, and just to go on to that point, like I reread a book recently called "The Ancient History of the World," and that's the first chapter is mentalism over material, and that's the first chapter. But if the people watching this show, if you can't, it took me a while to figure out that concept, because when I first read it, I didn't get it. But when I went back and reread it, I'm like, they told me this chapter 1. So the point is like, we're programmed to think that the world is physical matter, that matter came first. And I think that's probably about 90% of the people on this planet still believe that matter is what makes the world. And what you said is so key. It is the Mamba mentality. It is the mental aspect of what all this is.
Right. I mean, look at how stuff is created. Let's say if I wanted to create a cell phone right now, I would first think about it. I would think about all the different aspects of it. Then I would go to a CAD drawer and he would do 2-dimensional drawing. Then I would take it to an engineer, and then the engineer would make it a 3-dimensional.
Yep.
Which is our reality here. So it goes from the first dimension, the second dimension, to the third dimension.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process.
And there's no shortcuts either. You can't shortcut it. You have to follow the steps.
Right, but everything starts with that thought.
Yeah.
It starts with the thought first. Nothing is created without thought. It just doesn't randomly happen.
And that's the pineal gland. That's our access to that thought process. And the problem is with a lot of people who are trying to understand how to get to that Black Mamba status is, have you had an original thought? Have you, like, ask yourself, can you have an original thought? And you'd be surprised. I would say most people, no.
Well, most people are programmed to think inside the box.
Exactly.
So that's why they can't create nothing of their own. They're only going to regurgitate what they've already seen.
Yep.
So I mean, and that's all part of the program that we have. But in order to get where Kobe is, you have to reprogram your subconscious mind. And I don't know. That's what I want. I'm interested in knowing that where did he get the strength, and where did he get the will to, and how did he go about reprogramming his subconscious mind? Because there's many people going to go in the NBA and they want to be great. They want to get this cell phone, but they hadn't gone through the steps.
Exactly.
So I wonder what Kobe, first off, most people can't even sit down and focus on thinking something like this up. That's what you're saying. Yeah. So like I said, most people won't even be able to think outside the box to think of a cell phone.
Exactly. I mean,
and then if they do, they're not going to be able to sit down straight and let me sit this out so I can explain it to a CAD drawer what I'm trying to create.
Yeah. My roommates will look at me weird sometimes because, like, I'll be like doing something so random, and they're like, "Steve, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know what I'm doing. I just have to do it right now." Like one time I was drawing this logo for a friend, and I was like, it just came to me. I'm like, I have to write it down right now or I'm going to forget it. It's not going to happen. Like that was that thought that came into my mind, and I stopped what I was doing. What I was doing, it didn't matter. I had to do it right then and there. And that's a little side note. That's like Cliff Notes. If you guys want to know how it kind of works, is like you have to be able to see those little details, see those thoughts coming in too.
Right.
Acknowledge it. Right.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing, man. We gotta. It's a step process. I just laid it out for you. 1, 2, 3. And we talk about this all the time. Book of Luke. Pray, research. Asking you should receive, seeking you should find, knocking the door should be open unto you. Same 3. It's a same tribunal equation. Same thing, but it's a process. And most of us don't want to go through the process. We want to just snap our fingers and have something happen. And that's not how it works here.
Is that a rap song? I think that's a rap song.
Right. Now, I'm not sure, but most people don't want to dig down deep, and they want these things. They say they want these things out of their lips, but they don't want to put in the work to go ahead and get it. I just posted on my Instagram, and I want to relate this to wealth and all this stuff here, as far as let's bring it off of Kobe and let's bring it to, practicality of the everyday guy.
Okay.
I just posted, was it Proverbs? I want to say, actually, I don't want to exit out but it's in the book of Proverbs. I want to say 21:15. Said a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So that's in your Bible. So it says it leaves an inheritance not only for your children, but for your children's children.
Yep.
You know,
Because
so
it's in the genetics.
right. So I'm talking about they talking about inheriting not just physical traits, but they're talking about inheriting something on this plane as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're talking about monetary as well. So with that being said, people that are dilly dallying through life, you know, which we is really not our audience. But the people that's going to be the overachievers, that's our core audience, is that this is already written. So you have to outdo yourself to be generational.
Yep.
You have to change the scope of your last name. This isn't just for you. This is for your last name.
Yeah, because that's
So
all we
we
have is our last name.
right. So you have to leave an inheritance for your children, a good man, a great man. You know, which Kobe did. Kobe, his whole family, they already have money, but now they're for sure, you know, billions and billions of dollars for his estate. You know, it's probably worth even more now, like big that is passing. So it's, you know,
Yep.
everything's inflated once you pass.
Yep.
You know, so he did his job. So I'm asking those that's out there listening to me and listening to us, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna channel your inner Mamba mentality and outdo yourself or whatever you're gonna do? That's why I told people like, hey, if you follow me, if you're following me, put billionaire in front of your name. Because we speaking into existence.
Yep.
You know, Mamba been Mamba before it was Mamba.
He was, and he
You
always
know?
knew it. He always knew it though, subconsciously too. He just was
Right.
trying to.
So
How could he pull it out? You know.
right. So I've had, you know, some haters on Instagram. Oh, you're not a billionaire. You're missing the point. The point is I think it, therefore I am. You know, like I say all the time, I might not have it now, but I just got me a check. You know, so that's the thing. Put billionaire in front of your name if you want to be the, you know, you actually Stephen Contreras 90 should be billionaire geologist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like the nine. You know, and nine is nine, right?
Right,
Nine
billionaire
zero.
geologist 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
All there is nine, right?
right. So I mean, that's the point. Like what I'm saying is that outdo yourself, be the greatest in your field. The goats in their field get the billy.
They do. And I think one of the key concepts on this journey, we put ourselves out there to all of y'all, to our audience, because we've gone through it, right? So like you can't give up. Like no matter what, you have to keep on thriving. Like when things get hard,
Right,
push,
right.
push,
Just
push,
like with
push for it.
Kobe again tore his Achilles.
I
You
remember
know,
that.
you know, shot his free throws and then walked off by himself. You know, so um that pain, like I said, he ignored that pain, that physical pain. That means he mastered his mental.
Hmm.
You know, you could shut it. The pain only hurts as much as you want it to hurt, as much as you allow it to hurt. You know, so he realized that, you know, way back then. So I think I told Stephen Contreras this. We said this on the show is that your mind, when your mind thinks your body had enough, you actually got your body got another 50% that it can go.
Yep.
You don't know it until you push it.
Yep.
So
And
transparent. Yeah.
and you'll be pleasantly surprised to see where that takes you.
Right. Just like yeah, we talked about that in the show before. Like, you know, you think you're tired and stuff like that, and then your body's not tired. You know, actually we probably sleep too much as Americans.
Yeah, I would agree.
You know, it's just that we're trained to be, you know, we're trained to sleep a certain amount of time, and we think in our mind, again, matter follows mind, that we're tired, and we're actually not. The body's not tired. You know,
Hmm.
so it's all a mentality, Mamba mentality, man. Get better.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really good guidebook to be able to. He's a good example for people to follow, and you'll get the haters who talk about his personal life and stuff like that. But you just see what he did. Look at what he did. And
Right.
he did it.
You,
He achieved it.
you judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. Look at his family.
Always.
Look at the fans. Look at the influence. People that criticize him, if you look at their fan, look at their influence, and you compare the two, there's nothing. There's no comparison.
Yeah, he is a
So,
Mamba, the
right.
snake
So
in the jungle.
right. People that throw rocks at successful people, they do that not only to just get attention, but they try to slow you down.
Always. And it
You know,
always happens. It doesn't matter what field you're in, guys.
right,
It always happens.
right. So that don't let that bother you. Like I said, for those our core listeners that's trying to be overachievers or that's trying to be overachievers to try to immortalize their name, to try to be the GOAT in their field. Again, that comes with the my favorite artist E40 said, "Hate come with the plate."
Yeah.
You know, so that's imagine ordering from a restaurant and you got two sides and one of them is hate.
Yeah. For sure.
That comes with it. So and he said when you eat, everybody want to taste. So it just is what it is, man. Again, we're at the 33-minute mark. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. But Mamba forever, man. R.I.P. Kobe and Gigi. He's gonna live forever through me, through that mentality. We're gonna keep it on. I just rebranded it. It's the same thing. It's called the billionaire mind state. It's just that's what it is. The Mamba mentality is the billionaire mind state.
It is. And what are y'all going to do about it? Are you going to keep on watching our videos and take some knowledge from these? You should, because I don't know where you can get a place to find this information. So we're putting it out there for you, and I hope y'all are listening.
Right. Again, as the production gets better and better, like I said, we're launching. We didn't wait till it gets perfection is the enemy of profit. So the show is not perfect right now. Yeah, we could get all the little sound effects and the sponsors and all this stuff right now. Right now, we're practicing on our brand. So once our brand gets there and the content, we probably will retouch all of these subjects again. But we're just putting out content, man. So if you look at it, instead of looking at the packaging, look at the content, it's gold. It's golden, beyond golden.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's beyond golden. It's astronomical.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and let's wrap it up, man. Again, it's mortgage season. So HOCmortgage.com. Let's start 2020 off with getting you a brand new home, townhome, condo, manufactured home, whatever. Or start getting you some passive income. Get you a rental property. HOCmortgage.com. That's what I do by trade. Also, get a copy of my book, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession. If you're trying to seriously make six figures this year, I guarantee you, if you follow my methodology, you will make six figures. It just is what it is. It works. And it's just like a lot of people do this. So let me address this. A lot of people take one thing from the methodology and think that's going to work. That doesn't work. That's like taking just the snares from a song and then try to make another hit song with just the snares from. The reason why it's a hit song because all of it goes together.
Mm-hmm. It's like Legos.
Right. You can't just take one element of it and I did this and think you're going to be successful. Doesn't work like that. It goes together like peanut butter and jelly. So you got to put all of it together. You can't just do one element. So again, follow all the 7 steps of my process and you will be successful. Again, also with realtors, if you don't want to work with me, I got a game plan. I got a 3-step process that works. So pay me $2K. I give you my system. I have a system that works. Go to bnloanofficer.com to go ahead and book me on that. Call me 832-775-8357 24/7. You got any questions? Also at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go ahead and follow me and Steven Contreras is Steven_Contreras_90 on Instagram. And where else are you, Steven?
On Facebook, Steven Contreras. And just shoot me a DM, if you guys are interested to talk, find out some about what I do. So just hit me up.
You got you. Tell them what you got coming up.
I got a whole bunch of stuff, you know. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. Some of it's just like it's a lot to do with like business and stuff. I can't really talk about it, but it's just
Right.
like I'm always working. Like there's never a day I'm not working, and like that's the mentality, you know. You gotta always work, you know. Like even I can't really talk about what I do on the side, but it's just like I'm always working, and don't ever forget it's fun. I can't imagine myself not working. That's the
Right.
whole thing.
Human beings are put on this earth to work. What we put here for to work. You know, not to lay around. It's action. It's all about action. It's all about action. That's why I say, again, that's a good segue because God is a verb, man. God is a verb. And personal responsibility is your only savior, man. Don't forget it. God is a verb. And, you know, go ahead and look that up. So with that, we're going to say peace, man.
Peace.
All right.